Is Christmas acceptable to Christ? Is Christmas Christian or pagan? What is this custom that we see here? What does it have to do with Christ? What does the mistletoe have to do with Christ? What does the poinsettia plant have to do with Christ? Let's study this issue. Jeremiah 10, verse 2 through 4. For thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cut of a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen, with the axe, and they deck it or decorate it with silver and with gold, and they fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not, or so that it won't fall down. So they take the tree out of the forest. Is this the Christmas tree? Customs of the people are vain. They cut the tree out of the forest. They take it out of the forest. They bring it inside. And then they set it with a Christmas stand so that it move not. Of course, it's the Christmas tree. The Bible in Jeremiah 10 says that it's in vain. Also, Matthew 15:9, but in vain they do worship me. It's possible to worship Christ in vain. It's a custom that he does not want. Let's take a lesson from the History Channel concerning Christmas Unwrapped. In Germany, people honored the pagan god during the midwinter holiday. Germans were terrified as they believed that this winter god made nighttime flights through the sky to observe his people, and then decide who would prosper and who would perish. Because of his presence, many people chose to stay inside. Does that sound familiar? You gotta stay inside, stay in your bed while Santa flies in the nighttime sky. He knows who's naughty, who's nice. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Centuries before the arrival of Jesus, early Europeans celebrated the light and birth in the darkest days of winter. In Scandinavia, the Norse celebrated Yule from December 21st, the winter solstice, through January, in recognition of the return of the sun. The people would feast for 12 days while the Yule log burned for those 12 days. Sounds familiar? 12 days of Christmas. Also, concerning Rome, they celebrated the birthday of the sun god on December 25th. It was believed that the sun god, an infant god, was born of a rock. For some Romans, the birthday was the most sacred day of the year. Sounds familiar? It's generally very well recognized that the early Christian church never celebrated birthdays, not even Jesus' birthday. So how did this pagan custom come over into the church? In the Pope Julius I chose December 25th. It is commonly believed and accepted that the church chose that day in an effort to adapt and absorb the traditions of the pagan festivals, to kind of steal away the holidays of the pagans and put Christ's name on it to turn evil over into good. But what was the result? The result, after the church adapted the pagan holidays, was that on Christmas, believers attended church and then went back out into the streets in a carnival-like atmosphere, being drunk like our modern-day Mardi Gras. Even the churches today that celebrate Christmas, many of them even close their doors, saying, why worship Christ on this day? Let's be at home with our families. But some churches that do meet on Christmas, and some of them that do meet on Christmas recognize where it comes from, and even put on their signs that it's a winter solstice, a winter festival. One group in Virginia in 2006 even put out this pamphlet to the elementary school children in Virginia, saying, come to our church, saying, we'll have an educational program for children of all ages and their adults, where we'll explore the traditions of December and their origins, followed by a pagan ritual to celebrate Yule. This is from a church. Can you imagine this being handed out to children? But at least they know where Christmas comes from. At least they're educated about it. But of course we should not celebrate it because it is of the devil. What about Old Saint Nick? Where does that name come from? Nick or Old Nick or Old Saint Nick is a well-known name for the devil. The name appears to have derived from Dutch, called the devil, which again comes from the Anglo-Saxon to slay, to kill, to murder, for the devil was a murderer from the beginning. In some regions, Nick was the name of a water spirit that would drown children if found awake at night by the waterside. Sounds familiar? Stay in bed, for old Saint Nick, he's coming at night. He's not so great, is he? This is a pagan festival. Even by the looks of this festival you see here, you can tell that it's pagan, just like the Druids for hundreds and thousands of years, and to this very day meet on Christmas Day, also on Easter Day, and also on Halloween at Stonehenge. Now, everybody wants you to spend a lot of money, spend hundreds or thousands of dollars to prove that you love them. You don't have to prove that you love people by buying them things. Buy them something simple throughout the year. Show them your love throughout the year. Here's some examples of some satanic people keeping Christmas. The satanic people have songs such as Jingle Hell's Bells, Deathly Silent Night. These 13 songs right here of Satanists keeping Christmas. The pagans have no problem keeping Christmas because the pagans and Satanists know that it's of the devil, or they believe it's just of Mother Nature. It's the atheists that have a problem. But what about us Christians? The Bible in Ephesians 5 says we should have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather to reprove them, and we are to be proven what's acceptable to the Lord. Do you think that it's okay to take a Ouija board and just wipe out the word Ouija and write Christ board? Of course not. He doesn't want us to take pagan or satanic rituals or customs or traditions of doing things for the devil and just put his name on it. He doesn't want us to do that. He wants us to leave that stuff alone and worship him in spirit and in truth. What about the poinsettia? What does it have to do with Christ? Nothing whatsoever at all. But it is a what? A poisonous plant. Has nothing to do with Christ. What about the mistletoe? What does it have to do with Christ? What does it have to do with Christ's birthday? Absolutely nothing. But again, it's a poisonous plant. Also, here's a maypole that people have a symbol of fertility. Now, that's what the rabbits, the Easter eggs, and also the poinsettia, the evergreens, the Christmas tree, all this greenery is associated with fertility. That's where these symbols come from. It has nothing to do with Christ. It's all about fertility, about the rebirth of the Son. What about the two witnesses that witnessed for 3.5 years? The whole world's going to hate them. And notice that Revelation 11 says that when they are killed, people will send gifts one to another because these two witnesses tormented those on the face of the earth. How do they torment people on the face of the earth? By preaching against Christmas. And that's why when they die, people will send gifts one to another. Please check out much more proof at the website at www.isawthelightministries.com. We need for you to pray about this, to fast about it, to ask God. Don't believe me. Believe God. Believe the Bible. Check it out and prove all things. Thank you, and God bless you.